aboard!
Outdoor service owners, rise and shine. It's time to start fueling your success, one adventure at a time. Welcome back to Outdoorsy Entrepreneur, brought to you by House Call Pro, where business owners come to explore ways to take charge and level up. We are your host. I'm Kevin Fontaine, and this is my friend Patrick Harders. Join us on a journey every Wednesday. Like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and listen to wherever you get your podcast. And follow us on our social media platforms at Outdoorsy Boss. My chum from another mum. What's going on, Patrick?
Hey, Kevin. Great seeing you today and great spending some time. You know, I love doing this, and it's actually something that I think you and I are both very passionate about, continuing education and learning. So like, I still get coaching. I'm 25 years into it. You think I would have figured everything out, but there's still so much room for me to grow that I want to be better. I want to grow better. I want to run my business better. So, I love doing this. So hopefully we can help, bring people along and speed up their entire process so they launch from, one level of their business to the next and hit their goals. So today I'm excited about this topic. This is a great one.
Yeah, today I thought we could talk a little bit about getting organized, ourselves personally and professionally.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, I think it's physically, spiritually, mentally, like all together trying to keep things organized and having systems in place. I always tell the story of Hot Rod, the guy who started working on our patio on the front porch and stoning it. And I had a friend over there. He showed up in a disheveled shirt. His tools were a mess. His truck, he opened the door and shit fell out. And my friend who's been around a while looked at him and said, get the hell off the property. And I'm like, what'd you kick Hot Rod out for? And he's like, because if a guy is that disorganized and that messy and his tools, like what he uses to do his work aren't cleaned or full of concrete, there's no way he's going to bring you a finished product that is clean, organized, well thought. And, it all transfers to life. If you're opening your trucks and full of like McDonald's wrappers and crap like that, it's a sign that there's some issues there that we have to really take into account.
Yeah, I mean, being clean, neat, organized, and having that freedom to just get out of the car. You've already got a notepad in hand, your peripherals, your samples, everything. That relieves stress, I believe, too, because now you're more focused.
Yeah. Anybody who's worked with me, they know that when things are disorganized, it's usually when a screwdriver goes flying. And I just get so mad when I spend more time looking for something.
Oh my God.
And I think my worst experience is my truck. We live in our trucks sometimes. And it's just like, it just got messy. There was like, it didn't even have like trash or anything like that anywhere besides on the passenger floor. And a customer's like, hey, I want to show you this house that someone did some lighting on. Like, can we go drive over to it? And it's so embarrassing. Like, let me clean out my truck real quick.
And
it's just dirty and gross. And you're like,
spitballs falling out.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. So that's huge. With our guys, I'm always like, hey, our truck's got to look tip top. Like, your customer's actually judging your work by your appearance, by how organized you are. And the frustration of not having the tools in the right spot, and not having, everything accounted for, it could just destroy an install really quickly.
Not only ourselves keeping organized, your workspace at your office, in your garage, even if you store a lot of stuff in your storage units, etc.
Yeah.
Just imagine as you grow and all these different employees start coming into the envelope. Just imagine, like Pat mentioned, finding the screwdriver, tape measure. Let's say it takes an extra 5 minutes to find a specific tool in a truck or warehouse. Just times that times 20 employees, 30, 40, 50. You can imagine how much time wasted every day, and time is money.
It is. I think you have to be organized in everything. And that's the hard thing. It's like, it's so easy to, I was getting fat for a while and I'm just like, oh, I hate it, but I'm so busy. I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time. And it's just like, you got to make time. So if that just means, getting to bed at a decent hour and getting to the, beating the sun up, that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. You have to prep for the next day and not just wake up and go, all right, what's going to come flying at me today? And that's a horrible feeling when all of a sudden you're double booked and You forgot to get back to a customer, and all the things that can happen when you're disorganized. And so it's a discipline in life, but it's something that makes life easier.
Yeah. So what we used to do with our crews was it was actually scheduled into their daily routines.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we took a hit there profit wise because that's loss in revenue, but it was a must have because if
Yeah.
we didn't carve the time into their daily schedule, come back 15 minutes earlier. So you clean out your trucks, you throw away the trash, you put things back where they belong. Say they borrowed equipment for the day, they put that back in their slot. Then it's a commitment. You gain revenue through the efficiencies in the future. As they get more and more acclimated to where things go, how you've organized the trucks and trailers, then that efficiency starts really working well. I know when we were doing our vans, say for lighting, for example, everything's labeled. We put what are those stickers you put on the outside with that type machine?
Yeah.
Label maker.
Okay. I
We
was going to
put,
say stickers with labels, but yeah.
yeah, label maker is a great tool,
Yeah.
because quickly you can see before you even pull the drawer out, bam, you know what's supposed to be in there, like 5/8 wood screws versus 2-inch stainless steel screws,
Yep.
etc.
And I just could say, I think like the time that you see it exemplified the most is in the morning. So like it's a commitment when you get done and it's a hot day and you've been working all day. The last thing you want to do is clean your truck out, load the truck up for the next day, get it all ready. But our guys, we get started at 7:30 in the morning. And when we don't do it, I notice that the time they get the trucks organized, have the cup of coffee, do all that crap, finally get on the road, stop and get gas, they're not getting to that customer's house till 8:30, 9 o'clock. Where if they're ready to go at 7:30 and they're in here's your cup of coffee, get going, you go straight to the job because you gassed up the night before, like all of that's taken care of. All of a sudden we're starting a job when it's still cool out at, 8 o'clock, 7:45, something like that. And you start multiplying that out. If you have 11 guys working for you and each of them have an hour and a half every day to show up to the job,
Yeah.
and that's your overtime right there.
So what we implemented in our landscaping business was we always made them clean the trucks out and get rid of debris and all that good stuff on the afternoons. And the reason is they're already sweaty, tired, dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and get the prune clippings in our 20-yard prune barrel that's outside. Go ahead and throw away all the trash. Go ahead and prepare for the next day. So in other words, if you know that your crew is going to be mowing an HOA and you need a bunch of push mowers, boom, go ahead and load all your extra push mowers in, get everything ready. So all you have to do in the morning, we always told people, sip the coffee and turn the key.
Yep.
And they're fresh.
You got to go. You got to get moving on that. That initial morning time can go. I mean, everybody's just moving slow in the morning anyway. So if you start putting barriers into why things aren't going fast, but that'll kill you. But the other thing is like, you have to be the example. Like if you're just like, hey, I'm just a sloppy person. Like I'm just disorganized. It's who I am, but I know where everything's at. Well, everybody in your organization starts copying that to a higher degree. So by the time you look at it, you're like, yeah, you're no longer just a little bit, messy. You're just a slob completely. And we look like crap. Like customer comes and looks at our trucks and they look horrible. So you have to set that example. Like, I just do the automatic car wash. For years, I was too cheap I was like, I don't want to pay for a dumpster. We just, throw things away as we go and find a spot. And I'm like, the $150 a month, the little things like that, the places that we try and cut corners, because it's like customers don't see the dumpsters. What does it matter? Then all of a sudden guys are driving around, dumping it somewhere, you get in trouble. So you just got to make the systems, invest in it, and be organized so that things can move quickly, because nobody's going to do it at the level you do.
Yeah. So let me pull up, basically, if everybody's heard this before, but there's 5S, 6S, lean manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
And this comes out of, I believe, Toyota manufacturing originated this idea of a system to keep yourself organized and save time.
Yeah.
So, this is a 5S. I believe they went to 6S where they added safety to number 6, but this is sort. Let's start with sort. So let's say you have a garage and there's tools everywhere, there's boxes, etc. Well, sort is where you look at what you have and create an inventory and decide what to keep and throw out.
Yeah.
So after sort, look at what you have in your trucks and trailers, maybe your warehouse or storage. Find out what's truly necessary, what you haven't used in damn 6 months or a year. That
Yeah.
may be a candidate to throw it out or sell it or etc.
Yeah, it's so easy to start being a hoarder and like, hey, save that 1/4-inch copper pipe that's 24 inches in case we have to, you're just going like, I had this thing laying around for so long, or some light that we pulled out that, just throw it in the garbage. And so it's like, you got to get rid of stuff. You got to cleanse yourself. It's like, if you look in your closet and you haven't worn a shirt for a year, throw it away or donate or to do something. Like, there's no point.
What's that?
To have
Yeah, what's that Disney song? Let It Go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I have a daughter, so
But
man, I heard all that Disney
yeah.
crap.
All right, set in order. Number 2. So now it's time, once you've established the things you're going to keep, now let's clean everything and put it back in an order. Not only does the lean want you to set it back, but you want to put it in an order, arrange it, label it, and only necessary items are put back and for easy to use. I think, Pat, a lot of times too, I don't know if you've ever done shadowing on your tools where you'll see a silhouette of where a hammer goes or a screwdriver. This is the type of scenario where that would come into play. And we were big on color coding our tools and our areas in our warehouse. The more specific you can get with recognition and labeling, the better. I know another thing we did for our crews, every crew had their own unique color. So we had crew colors, and we would do the duct tape that's colorized and wrap their tools, which are they're being issued. So every crew would be issued a list of tools and equipment that they're responsible for. And people that are leaving your company or coming into your company, or you're doing a random field check of their equipment, we would always go through that and have them check that off and sign.
Yeah. If nobody owns their tools, if it's just like common ground and everybody just grabs whatever, it all goes missing. It's like having common ground on a property. If 3 neighbors see this area of the property that no one really owns, nobody really takes care of it and takes ownership of it. So we actually go through and we color code everybody's individual tools. They get one replacement for the year for free. After that, they pay half price for it. And they get angry when it's like, hey, you've already lost, 3 wire cutters this year. You're paying the full price for this one. And I've had guys get mad, like, I shouldn't have to pay them. Like, quit losing your crap. Then you get guys that will be on the other side where it's like, I don't want anybody to borrow my tools because I own these. And I'm like, good, it's your tools. If someone's losing their stuff, that's on them. And you got to just keep track and keep inventory. So we have an inventory of like how often we're replacing somebody's tools, because you'll find that there'll be guys out there that continue to do it, and they become, it's actually, I've always found when you have a guy doing things like that, there's always bigger problems coming in. So their work suffers, they're taking shortcuts. So that's just something to keep on top of is, not only the core, like a drill might be used by one truck, but each individual is going to have their own tools that they use every day, and they have to have ownership of those.
Exactly. So not only are you're loaning them tools for their trade to make money, you also want them to care for their tools, provide proper maintenance going forward. So what we would do as well is always have a maintenance day carved into their weekly routine. So when they get back, we would train them on how to maintain each tool properly. Hand tools, etc. It's just about cleaning them and greasing them,
keeping them oiled,
and keeping them from rusting.
Tightening them up. Rain. I mean, it's like there are going to be days that it's just raining out, things are getting wet, and if they just put everything away without spraying them with WD-40, next time you go to open them, they're locked in place, and you're struggling with them more. So
once you sort all your tools that you're going to keep, create list of inventory. So you know if they don't, when you start month by month rechecking this list, you issue this list to each crew. You then know if they lost them or not. So it's very important. Inventory your equipment with serial numbers, give them a stock number. Pat, we used to create these, you can have them printed. They're metallic exterior stickers, and you put them on high dollar equipment. So part of our inventory process was a numbered asset sticker program. And we would actually hide these stickers so no goofy goober would try to pull it off and then try to sell it or whatever. We would hide them from plain view out of sight type thing. And that way, you know that, equipment 411 is going to truck 15. And every review period, you know that, hey, I'm looking for where's 411 on your roster because yada, yada. It was issued to you 2 years ago on this date, and you're responsible. All our foremen are responsible for their own equipment being issued.
Yep.
So if you don't come back on this review day, which was monthly, that was done by an account manager, you have to pay for that equipment. We made them sign a waiver when they started. You are responsible for the equipment we issue you because you are not paying for this equipment. We are. And you take on this responsibility. We always made the foreman the guy that's responsible for the truck.
Yep.
So part of his extra wage included, hey, pal, you're going to have to pay for this if it comes back abused, or gone, missing.
Yep. Yeah, and I think one spot that is overlooked is truck maintenance itself. It's easy when it's like you and a truck. Like you got two of them, it needs an oil change.
Right.
You start getting 5, 10, 15 trucks out there. That's a whole different dynamic where it's like, it feels like something's going on all the time. We put the Zuby cameras in. So it's a monthly fee. We're videoing what's in front of them. We're videoing the guys. The guys all hated it at the beginning. Like, why are you videoing me? I'm like, because if you get in an accident, we want to be covered. We want to make sure you're doing safe things. We could see where guys are at. But it also lets us know when an oil change is coming up and things. And so we could have systems so we could pull a truck out, get an oil change. We're not showing up or guys going like, hey, we've got 6 trucks that all need oil changes and 3 inspections are needed. And, all that stuff that is like the little things that you forget about that you feel they don't make you any money, but they can cost you a lot. All of a sudden you're down 2 trucks and, guys aren't able to do their jobs, or you're shoveling 5 people into one. It just, makes it a mess.
Let's go to, so we got set in order. So that's putting things back properly and then labeling things as necessary. So it's very quick. So somebody can recognize, hey, this is where the screwdriver is. Bam. That you're saving those little seconds every day from each employee. It adds up. The next one, shine. Cleanliness. Keep everything swept and clean. Sustain this. You have an inspection of this area. Make sure it's safe. There's no nails that are going to cut you as you're going into that area of your warehouse. Just making a preventative maintenance plan in place. So that could mean, okay, every week, truck 20. So what we did, Pat, was the warehouse was common ground. Each crew was responsible for their own truck cleanliness inside and out, but we rotated the cleanliness responsibilities of our warehouse. So truck 20, you're this month, next month, it's going to be truck 15, etc. So each month it rotated the bathrooms, the warehouse, and you have a list of to-dos on how to keep that clean. Brooming. What the hell? It's not a damn condo, but sweeping, all the communally used. We had a blade sharpener that had to be, we had a vacuum that sucked up the metal debris, emptying that out.
So there was vacuuming.
There was vacuuming after all. There we go. And then we had trash cans.
Yeah.
We used to have them come and empty out all the trash cans in the office as well as the warehouse. So, so shine, keep everything sustained. And then next,
you had mentioned that you got a lot of information from a book years ago on military, how they do things. And if you look at the military, I mean, they go through like, how your shoes are tied, how they're shined, how you should look, all the different things that get into that orderly fashion that you ultimately want to have. Because ultimately you're running an organization that you want things to run without issues. And the more organized it is, the better. You can overdo it where, someone's going crazy and washing their truck 3 times a week and wasting time. But, most people don't suffer from like, hey, I'm too organized and too clean. And that we usually fall on the other side of crap. Things are getting messy. We need to take care of this.
You can overdo it. The military is definitely a system proven year after year, decade after decade, centuries old process, because they make their bed, bounce a quarter off of it, all that good stuff. Cut it in half, and you're going to be pretty systemic with your processes, procedures for keeping yourselves and your crew staff organized. How crazy it can get. There's a large landscape company, because I mentioned earlier, Pat, we hired a safety off manager.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he used to work for a huge outfit beforehand. So he was used to Army style organization skill.
Yeah.
He was amazing. And he came in and wrote our standard operating procedures, and he started showing me things. All right, so you're at your desk. This is the office staff now. They used to analyze time wasted by just looking and grabbing your coffee mug while you sit at your desk. Okay? So they analyzed every desk, what things people kept on it, what things were not needed.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started to physically put stickers where your coffee cup should go. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
But that's where they're going. They're going to super efficient. Everybody has their own place. You don't need this much stuff at your desk. That permeates out to the trucks. You don't need that tarp. You never use it, or whatever it is. You analyze what's needed, what's not. Let's just keep the good stuff.
Yeah.
And let's look at the next picture. Shit, I just removed it. All right. Shine, we talk about? Yep. Standardize. So standardize, clean up the state that exists when the first 3 pillars are properly maintained. So standardizing now means create a bullet point process or a video of where things go after it's been set up. And this is your training now. Now you're training your people how to keep this going the way it was intended. And just as an SOP, this can evolve. You get different equipment or better time-saving efforts, then that can certainly evolve. But it's just a simple standardization of, after you've created your processes to keep yourself organized, then here's what you do to keep it going.
Yeah. And I think you're going to find you'll get employees that gravitate towards this or have a skill set in it where they just have a more disciplined life and like it better. Sometimes you're just going to have that guy or girl that's hard to keep from, being real. It's just outside of who they are as a person. They're messy. You go to the garage and there's pathways to get through the crap.
Oh, sure.
That's not going to be your guy that you're going to say like, hey, I'm going to change everything about him and make him organize the whole company. But you're going to have someone else that comes in that they just love everything in order. They love everything clean. And you use those people. You talk to them and go, hey, I'm going to give you a little extra because you're showing that you're good at doing this. So help us keep everybody else organized too.
Yeah, you got to have somebody managing it and keeping an eye on it. So we would always give that responsibility to each foreman.
Mm-hmm.
And then the account managers would be overseeing a group of foremen each. Yeah. And then you got production managers, et cetera. So it's a level up thing, and each is responsible for that tier as you keep going up the ladder there.
But even if you're small, like you may say like, well, it's just me and a guy right now. So what's the point of doing all this? But it's much easier. The sooner you start implementing this, the easier it's going to be. If you all of a sudden have like 6 guys working for you and then you're going to implement it, it's going to be like 3 months of banging your head against a wall to get everybody in order. Where if people come in and that this is the way it's done,
Yeah.
you're going to be light years ahead of everything. So I would say, even if you're by yourself, implement this and take time to do it. Because it's easy, like, not to have checklists when it's just you out there, but you want to have it so it's part of the system. So when new people come in, you're not trying to introduce a different plan that you've never done before.
All right. And so next we finally go to sustain. And this is the discipline of making a habit of properly maintaining the correct procedures. So it's kind of goes without saying. And then they added a sixth one, and I believe they went on to 7 and 8S. You know, it kept evolving.
Yeah. Need to sell more books.
Yeah. A big one's safety.
Yeah.
So make sure everything's safe. Like you mentioned earlier, Pat, having wide enough areas of egress in your warehouses, because OSHA will cite you if you have something blocked. If we used to get our fireman's code would come into our offices, and if we had stuff stacked too high towards the ceiling, we'd get dinged for that. So that's part of that safety element of what we're doing.
Yeah, and OSHA's no joke. I mean,
you
get fined by OSHA. It's not like, hey, you get 6 months to pay this. It's like, we're taking money out of your account today.
Right.
And, you know, if you don't have a harness while you're in a lift, I think it's $15,000 on the spot, first time offense.
Oh,
so
wow.
If you're not if you're not doing the things to protect your people, you know, they do have agencies that they just come on you like a hammer. So
another thing too, Pat, old employees, pissed off customers, they're going to report you too, because they've seen what you've done before. They'll report your butt just to have spite.
I had an existing employee that had the job and called OSHA on us while he's working. And like, he was looking to just get us in trouble. He was like,
sabotage.
Yeah. You know, he's like, hey, can I get in the lift for a little bit? And we're like, no, you're not allowed in the lift. Right. He's like, oh, let me get in the lift. And all of a sudden OSHA pulled up. I'm like, all right, we got to figure a way to get rid of this guy. But
yeah, let's kill him.
Yeah. But I mean, you got to protect yourself. You never know, you know, people are crazy.
Oh yeah. Now, Patrick, I want you and all our viewers out there, comment on what you've seen at your own business, what ways you've used to implement to get you more efficient and organized. And there's a great website out there called FastCap. This guy, I bought one of his books. I can't remember his name, but FastCap is a manufacturing business in the United States that makes a ton of cool things for carpentry, ways carpenters can improve their own processes and be faster at work, safer. Check out his facility. Paul, I know his name's Paul, who owns FastCap. Check out his YouTube videos. OMG, talk about lean. He's actually certified lean, and he gives tours to people that want to check out how a lean manufacturing certified site looks. Yep. It is unbelievable. The videos are just awesome to watch. How he's taking every element of his warehouse and making it the most efficient, clean, simple.
But, well, it's funny. I've got the manufacturing facility, and it's 4 hours from me down in Danville. And I am huge into, like, I want things spotless there. I want the cleaner to come through like once a day or at least once a week, where they're polishing the floors or doing everything. But I go down there assuming everybody's got my same mindset, and all of a sudden I come to this one room, like, what the hell is this? And like, this is the junk room. I'm like, no, we don't have junk rooms. Like this, we have dumpsters and we're dumping everything. Well,
that's a great time to analyze what you may have that you don't need anymore.
Oh yeah. And that's what it was. I mean,
yeah. So identify those issues, what time killers you have in your business. If you're searching for tools a lot longer than it should be, create a process and standardize and make a lean manufacturing step to find that hammer in an instant. Find that screwdriver, find those screws.
Nice beaver.
That's what she said. And just everything, just analyze, because it adds up. You want your employees just to bust out every morning, fresh as a bird, sipping coffee. They're tired, they're just waking up. I know, Pat, it sounds crazy, but we used to do exercises in the morning to
Okay.
get people, hey, let's go. Because people are kind of groggy, but you want people just to leave efficiently, know where your tools and equipment are, keep those tools clean, and you want that stuff working because that's your money makers right there.
Yep. The one that drives me the craziest are the cheap screwdrivers that have like you pull it apart and put it together and it's got like two ends, like the small screwdriver bit.
Yeah.
There are so many times I pulled it apart and I'm like, where the hell's the small one? And like, oh, that's been gone for a while. And I just go berserk because I'm like, they're $3. Go get 10 of them. And when you have that happens, throw that away, get another one.
We made so many trips to Home Depot.
Yeah, Home Depot will kill you.
Go get a tape measure. Damn, after we did inventory, when we moved offices, we counted, we had about 24 tape measures hidden everywhere.
Well, you never go into Home Depot. You send someone out there besides the, hour of time wasted. They never go in there and buy just the screwdriver that they need. So all of a sudden you start adding things up. You're like, wow, we spent an extra $500 this month in Home Depot things because we weren't,
and you may have not needed it.
Oh, half the time you didn't. Like, I bought a new fish tape. All right, we have 5 of those already. Where was this one? It wasn't in the truck. So it's like,
how many times? How many times has a crew gone out on a job and they forgot to load the fish tape or whatever was communal property? Yeah, we used to, before we would go shopping, we would always send one person on a Friday because we worked 4 10-hour days. Yeah. So Fridays was the account manager or a super foreman, we used to call them, where they would actually go Home Depot, Lowe's to go get those necessary items. But we would have them double check against inventory before committing to buying. Yeah. And he would go on a Friday by himself, no crew involved, to save money and time there. And it's just something you have to do as a business owner. And like Pat mentioned earlier, the earlier the better. Get a jump on it and train your people as soon as they come in and you start adding employees. Bring them through that process and make sure they stay with it. And it's a mindset change. It's not easy to convert people to operate similarly to a robot, I guess you would say, because people have tendencies, I especially do as well, that once I use a hammer, I don't always put it back where it belongs. Yeah. So it's a mindset change that you have to commit to doing it. And it's going to take time. It's not going to be a night, day, night thing. It's going to take time and get those people to do it properly. All right. Questions from the Outdoorsy tribe. We had Josh Palmer, 6723, ask us a question. He says, hey guys, quick question. How do you manage your time running multiple businesses? What do you say about that, Pat?
That's always one of the challenges. I think you just have to carve time and have a schedule. I think I naturally revolt against things that tie me down, but you need to have a schedule. You're planning things out. The other thing is the meetings. You have to have routine meetings that happen at the same time. You have to show up for them. Those are the things that we're doing. Because ultimately, we want to get to the point that we're creating the vision and setting the direction for the company. That's really what my main job is I don't want to be the guy out there going to pick up screwdrivers. So I want to make sure that, we're organized and we're having meetings and we're delegating and we're also assigning responsibilities to people because we want them to grow in the company too. So I think that weekly, daily meeting, the Zoom calls, anything we could do so that we get that consistent time. Same thing with the guys, we have our weekly meeting with them, but I want, operations to be just popping in twice a week where they have it on their schedule. They're going to meet them at 7:30, make sure everything's running smoothly in the morning, because you have a tendency, if you don't do those things, that things get ignored, and then you look and going how the hell is this happening in my company? Then you're stressed out. It ruins your day where, if you're planning it out and putting it in your schedule, it's going to run much smoother.
No doubt. And lucky me, I don't have any employees anymore. So I got a lot more free time running my two main businesses.
Yep.
And I realistically now work maybe 2, 3, 4 hours a day on each business. So it's totally different scene there.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's.
I used to put 70 hours a week in just my lighting business, and we were at that time doing 600,000-700,000 a year. And I find it freeing as growing the business. And, I could spend now 25 hours a week in the business, to do $3 million. So it's like same thing on the manufacturing side. Like if I'm planning it out and hiring good people, that's what I'm really doing now. It's staffing, it's the people, it's the processes, and the vision of the company are three things that I'm really focused on.
Yeah, business owners should really focus and have the time to focus on improving their business from A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps up this episode. Make sure you subscribe to our Outdoorsy Entrepreneur YouTube channel and hit those notifications and listen to wherever you get your podcasts. Level up your professionalism, reduce stress and workload in your business. Check out House Call Pro, link in the description below. They've got a special rate for us outdoorsy entrepreneurs. And big thanks to everybody listening and watching and commenting. We are trying to level up our game, be a professional service, and create an outstanding business for you, your family, and your clients. It's a mindset change, and it may seem daunting, but lucky you, we're going to have an easy-to-follow step-by-step program launching this summer. See you guys in the next episode.
Goodbye.
All aboard!